Hello and welcome to today's briefing. I'm Dana, and I'll be guiding you through the latest news.
And I'm Matt. We'll be discussing the top stories across various categories.
Let's start with the news that President Trump has asked the Supreme Court to allow the construction of a planned White House ballroom to continue, challenging a lower court order that would halt above-ground work. The project is valued at $400 million.
That's a significant project. What were the reasons behind the lower court's decision to halt the construction?
The lower court ruled that the project lacked the necessary approval from Congress. The administration is now seeking the Supreme Court's intervention to override this decision.
So the core issue here is the lack of congressional approval. How does the administration justify continuing the project without this approval?
The administration argues that the project is essential and should not be delayed further. They are seeking to convince the Supreme Court that the lower court's decision should be overturned.
What are the potential implications if the Supreme Court sides with the administration?
If the Supreme Court allows the construction to continue, it could set a precedent regarding executive powers and the limits of congressional oversight. It might also have significant financial and political implications.
That actually ties into broader discussions about executive authority. Let's move on to another story.
France's Constitutional Council has blocked a bill that would have banned children under 15 from accessing social media, citing infringement on freedom of expression. President Macron has vowed to prepare a new draft.
The decision was based on the grounds that the ban infringed upon fundamental freedoms. How did the council justify its decision?
The council found that the law would require every person, even an adult, to prove their age before accessing certain online services, which it deemed disproportionate.
So the concern was not just about the ban itself, but also about the broader implications for age verification and privacy. What's the next step in this process?
President Macron has announced plans to draft a new legislation that addresses the council's concerns while still aiming to restrict social media access for minors.
It's a complex issue, balancing freedom of expression with the need to protect minors. Let's move to another topic.
President Trump has stated that he plans to declare the Strait of Hormuz a U.S. territory after defeating Iran. This move has significant geopolitical implications.
The Strait of Hormuz is a critical waterway for global oil supplies. What are the potential consequences of such a declaration?
Declaring the Strait of Hormuz as U.S. territory could escalate tensions with Iran and other regional actors. It might also impact global oil prices and shipping.
How does this statement align with previous U.S. policies regarding the region?
This is a significant escalation in rhetoric. Previous administrations have maintained a more nuanced approach to the region, focusing on diplomatic and military cooperation rather than territorial claims.
What might be the international reaction to such a declaration?
The international community is likely to be divided, with some countries supporting the U.S. stance and others opposing it, potentially leading to further instability in the region. Let's discuss another story. President Trump has ordered the Navy to revert to using older steam catapults for launching jets from aircraft carriers, abandoning a newer advanced system.
That's an interesting move. What are the reasons behind this decision?
President Trump has long preferred the older steam catapult system. The decision is expected to have significant cost and operational implications for the Navy.
How does this change affect the Navy's operational capabilities?
The new electromagnetic system was designed to be more efficient and reliable. Reverting to steam catapults might reduce some of these advantages and incur additional costs.
So there are both financial and operational considerations here. What's the estimated cost of this change?
The reporting suggests that the costs could be in the billions, along with potential complications in implementing the older technology on newer carriers. Moving on, vote counting in Zambia's presidential election has been suspended due to reports of attacks on polling officials and the theft of some ballot papers.
That sounds like a serious situation. What are the implications for the election process?
The suspension of vote counting raises concerns about the integrity and transparency of the electoral process. It might lead to delays or even a rerun of the election.
How have the authorities responded to these incidents?
The Electoral Commission of Zambia has halted the count and is investigating the reports of violence. There are calls for ensuring the safety of electoral officials and the security of ballot papers.
What's the current status of the election results?
The results are currently on hold pending the resolution of the issue. The situation remains fluid with ongoing investigations. Let's shift to the economy. U.S. retail sales fell in July for the first time in 9 months, suggesting a slowdown in consumer spending.
The decline in retail sales is a significant indicator. What were the factors contributing to this drop?
The boost from big tax refunds faded, and lower gasoline prices also played a role in the decline. Additionally, there's a marked slowdown in consumer spending.
So the earlier surge in consumer spending was largely driven by tax refunds. What's the outlook for future spending?
While there's a current slowdown, a stock market upswing is enhancing household wealth, which could potentially lead to future spending, especially among affluent families.
That's a positive note. Let's move on to another economic story.
Oil prices are on track for weekly gains due to stalled U.S.-Iran talks and mounting tensions, which have revived concerns about crude oil supplies.
The threat of an indefinite naval blockade of Iran by the U.S. has contributed to these supply concerns. How significant are these tensions for global oil markets?
The Strait of Hormuz, through which a significant portion of global oil supplies passes, is a critical choke point. Tensions in this region can lead to sharp rises in oil prices.
What's the current price of oil?
Brent crude is gaining 1.45% to $88.33 a barrel, while U.S. oil is rising 1.26% to $82.27. The situation remains volatile. Let's discuss another economic story. Brazil has initiated a review under its economic reciprocity law to evaluate potential countermeasures against recent U.S. trade tariffs.
Brazil is seeking formal diplomatic consultations with Washington to resolve the dispute. What's the current state of these talks?
Brazil has reiterated that the U.S. tariffs are unjustified and is maintaining a preference for negotiated solutions. The review will help determine appropriate countermeasures.
So Brazil is exploring its options while still seeking a diplomatic resolution. What are the potential countermeasures being considered?
The reporting suggests that Brazil is looking into various retaliatory options, which could include tariffs on U.S. goods or other trade restrictions.
It's a delicate situation, with both countries trying to protect their economic interests. Let's move on.
The White House has announced new tariffs on drone imports to reduce U.S. reliance on foreign supply chains and avoid potential national security threats.
The tariffs range up to 100% on sensitive drones, while imports from key allies face duties ranging from 10 to 15%. What are the reasons behind this move?
The U.S. is seeking to reduce its dependence on foreign-produced drones, citing national security concerns and the need to support domestic industries.
How might this decision affect the drone industry?
The tariffs could give a competitive edge to domestic drone manufacturers, while potentially impacting global supply chains and increasing costs for consumers. Let's switch to sports. Cornerback Terrion Arnold, who faces 8 felony charges, is reportedly signing with the Seattle Seahawks.
That's a controversial move. How has the Seahawks management justified signing Arnold despite the legal issues?
The Seahawks coach explained that they are adding talent while acknowledging the legal case against Arnold. The team is likely focused on his potential as a player.
So the decision is based on his athletic abilities. What's the current status of the legal case against him?
Arnold faces serious charges, including robbery and kidnapping. The legal process is ongoing, and the team's decision might be influenced by the outcome.
It's a complex situation, balancing the team's needs with the legal and ethical considerations.
Moving on, Major League Baseball has announced that the Kansas City Royals will face the Boston Red Sox at the Field of Dreams game in Dyersville, Iowa in 2027.
That's exciting news for baseball fans. What's the significance of the Field of Dreams game?
The Field of Dreams game is a unique event held at a specially constructed field in Iowa inspired by the movie Field of Dreams. It's a showcase game that brings together teams in a nostalgic setting.
What's the date for the 2027 game?
The game is scheduled for August 12, 2027. It's the 4th edition of this event, and it continues to be a popular attraction. Let's discuss another sports story. Amy Hunt has won the European 100-meter gold in 11.00 seconds, a significant achievement.
That's a remarkable performance. What are the implications of this win for Amy Hunt and British athletics?
This win strengthens Britain's medal table hopes in the European Athletics Championships. Amy Hunt's performance is a major comeback.
So this victory is not just personal, but also contributes to the broader success of British athletics. What's next for Amy Hunt?
Amy Hunt has also won the 200-meter gold, completing a sprint double. She's now halfway to achieving an historic soar European golds at one championships. The San Francisco Giants will host the 2028 MLB All-Star Game at Oracle Park, marking the second time the venue hosts the event.
That's great news for the Giants and their fans. What are the expectations for the 2028 All-Star Game?
The Oracle Park has hosted the All-Star Game previously in 2007. The event is expected to bring together top players and provide an exciting experience for fans.
What's the significance of hosting the All-Star Game for the Giants?
Hosting the All-Star Game is a significant honor and can boost local interest in baseball. It also highlights the Giants' facilities and community. Let's discuss another sports story. Pritchard Colon, a Puerto Rican boxer, has died at 33, more than a decade after a fight left him with severe brain injury.
That's a tragic story. What were the circumstances surrounding his injury?
Colon suffered a severe brain injury during a fight in 2015 due to an illegal blow. He remained in a vegetative state for many years before passing away.
So the injury had a profound impact on his life. What's the legacy of Pritchard Colon?
Colon's case has raised awareness about the risks associated with boxing and the need for better safety measures and regulations in the sport. Let's shift to entertainment. Selena Gomez and her mother are facing a lawsuit from investors over their mental health startup, Wondermind.
The lawsuit alleges that they misled investors about the startup's success and Gomez's involvement. What are the details of the allegations?
The investors claim that Gomez and her team faked the startup's success and then hid its collapse for 3 years. This has led to a federal fraud suit.
What's the response from Gomez and her team?
The reporting doesn't provide a detailed response from Gomez or her team. The legal